How's it now? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I can't hear you. I can't see me. That's the theme of the night. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Me personally, you know what I enjoyed? I enjoyed watching AEW earlier today. That's what I enjoyed watching. You know. Yo, I heard it was like a double disqualification. You know that's. But one thing was for sure, everybody was right about Drew. Drew was gonna come in, but I don't know what part of the match he came in. I guess I assume he was the reason why there was a disqualification. Which, why would you waste that match though? That that's my whole thing. Why would you waste that match? Yeah, but you see that's the thing. If I would have thought that if Cody was going to politic, he would have politic for Ricky to have that match with him, not Oba. Because after all, him and Ricky are best friends. Best friends. So I just figured that, he would want to see them come up. Cody got some politicking and he do. Yo, Lonnie, what's going on? Salute. That's what I thought. But that's the match that I most likely probably would have tuned in and watched. But between that and the whole Cena thing, and I just I would have had more fun watching grass grow. You know. But he'll be wrestling again. This ain't his last time. See, I'm probably going to the Saints game tomorrow. I don't know how much of. Oh shit! Who do y'all play tomorrow? Friends, Dare Harley, any friends? Yeah, man. It's, it's like when they get to WWE, we ain't friends no more. The friendship card is out. Okay, two freeze. Oh, oh, oh. You got them kind of seats. Oh, Carolina. Oh, yeah. Isn't Carolina after Thursday game? Aren't they in first place now? Which is crazy to even say Carolina in first place. I haven't said that in years. Matter of fact, it's been a good 10 years. Yo, that'd be crazy if Carolina got into the playoffs and made a deep run. that that would be crazy. Cody was cool in AEW, but when he went back home, Cody is showing his. Your RB, you all right. I can't disagree with you on that one. He's a different person, you know. And it's crazy because they keep building this whole story about Cody's legacy in WWE because of his dad and all that. And I'm just like, but WWE wasn't even his dad's company. Dusty was more known, what I'm saying, in the NWA. That's his legacy. So it just made sense that Cody AEW, you know what I'm saying? But who am I to say? I just grew up watching his dad. Spent about 3 years watching him in polka dots. Well, I done watched a whole bunch of years of him in some of the most exciting, brutal, bloody. You know what I'm saying? Even his stuff when he was a heel back in the 70s with old racist Dick Murdoch. I already bought my son to his first Pelican game, and now I'm checking the Saints. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Old Finney as a babyface, I don't know about that. You already know that's what they going with. When Dusty got to WWE, he got trolled out. He did. And you see, the thing about it is, when Dusty first got there, he wasn't wearing polka dots. If you go back to his first couple of matches that he had in WWE, he didn't have polka dots. The polka dots came later. That's what a lot of people don't remember or don't know. Those polka dots came later. They came like months later, you know. It's kind of like, dang, polka dots. I mean, it sold. It made money. People were like into it because the 80s. But I didn't care for it. I was a kid and I didn't care for it. I was just like, nah, this can't be. No. Even when Dustin debuted there, he was as Dustin Rhodes, and then when he went back, oh no, we got to be Goldust. Hey, message to anybody that goes to WWE. If you go to WWE and you're one way and you happen to leave for whatever reason, don't go back. Don't go back. Because that's basically what happened with Dustin and Dusty. Even though Dusty wasn't like officially with WWE, but he did have matches in WWE back in the day. That's where the whole title thing issue came up at. Turn this on, turn this down. See, Vince McMahon gave Dusty Rhodes the polka dots so he could punish him for that. Yeah. And in a way, I kind of think Dusty knew that. But, at that time, it was like, where else were you going to go at that time? All the territories were pretty much done with. The AWA was on its last leg. They weren't going to be around too much longer. because everybody pretty much left them to go to either WWE or WCW. You know, which sucked, which absolutely sucked. All right. Okay, there's. You're right about that. But what about Japan or Mexico? Um, he could have went there, but I think at that time, well, I mean, I think at that time period, uh, financially, it probably wouldn't have been the best move for him. You know, uh, but as far as like wrestling goes, you know, it could have worked. But I think financially speaking, he probably wouldn't have made the money, you know, he was making in WWE. You know, because you got to think when Dusty was in the NWA before they switched to WCW, Dusty he was coming up with the big shows. He was booking a lot of the big shows. Plus, he was wrestling, so he was making a lot of money, you know. And there wasn't any other place where he was going to make either equal value or more besides going to WWE, you know. Because when Vince killed the territories, that all the money got soaked up, you know. Because had the territories still been around, I think AWA could have stretched it out a little bit longer. They probably could have survived, you know. But I think where AWA's problem was, Greg Gagne didn't want to get out of this old school mindset. He wanted to keep everything real slow and technical and hold for hold. And it's just like at the end of the day, wrestling is entertainment. So you have to have an entertainment value that's going to drive the people in, just not the wrestling. The entertainment is going to bring the people in. Then you provide them with the wrestling that's also going to entertain them. Sitting there with an arm bar for about 5 to 10 minutes, after a while, it gets boring. You know, after a while, it gets very, very boring. You know, even though I could watch it. I could watch it. That's why I can still watch it. I prefer old school wrestling. You know, I love the modern day stuff, but I prefer old school wrestling. Everybody is not gonna, you know what I'm saying, like that type of wrestling. Like the masses, you got to go with the times. You know, that's why I say Will Ospreay is my favorite wrestler. You know, because he provides a different style that I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like that. You know, it's fast paced, and I think what he doesn't get enough credit for is being technical in that, because you have to be technical. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, I don't think people understand technical. They think being technical is putting on a hold the right way and or counter moves and all that, which is true. But if you're also doing like a lot of them big spots, them big moves and stuff, you also have to be technical in that, because if you're not, the move is going to look sloppy, and you could either hurt yourself or hurt the other person. Let's see. Have you watched Dutchman? I don't really watch his podcast. If it like pops up in my feed, then I might click on it, depending on the topic. But I don't really watch Dutch Mantel. I'm To be honest with you, I never really was like a Dutch Mantel type person. It's like, I don't know, it's just something about him. He just never gravitated to me, under any type of character he was. You know, I probably Uncle Zeb when he was in WWE as Uncle Zeb. That was probably one of the rare times where I was like, oh, okay, I could watch this a little bit, you know. But I just never really been a Dutch Mantel person. Yep. Yep. Zeb Coulter. You know, it was a lot of hair. I think that's what it was too. It was a lot of hair because he had a lot of hair. The tag team that he had a lot of hair. Which come to find out, that tag team that he was managing at that time, come to find out that was the Harris brothers. Didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of figured that out on my own because I remember when they got to WCW, they had shaved their heads. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm looking at their faces. I'm looking at how they move. I'm like, wait, hold up. They look very familiar. Like I've seen them before. Like, where have I seen these? I know I've seen them before, but where have I seen them before? So my brain started going, right? So then I'm like, okay, hold on. So I went and I had, because it was an episode of Nitro. I literally stopped watching Nitro and I went and put in, what was it? I think it was either WrestleMania 11 or it was one of their matches that they had on Superstars. And I'm watching that. And then I took that out, keep that locked in my brain. Then I put in one of their matches. Now, as a matter of fact, it wasn't during Nitro. I did it after Nitro. And I put in, because this was, I got the WCW. That was late 99. So that was before Starrcade. So it was probably around November when I did that. Around November. And I put it, no. Yeah. It was around November. And I put in a match in WCW that they had. And I'm like, it is them. It is them. Because they was literally doing the same moves they wasn't doing in WWE. They just didn't have all the hair. Before Zeb Culture, I had never in my life heard of any dude. Oh man. Well, unfortunately, I have. Zeb is not a popular name, but you know, you grow up in certain areas, that name will pop up. You know, and they ain't last too long either. Zeb did. Shoot. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'll take that back. I'll take that back. It wasn't just the fact that he was Zeb, but it was the fact of later on when, you know what I'm saying? You remember that catchphrase, Jake Hager and Claudio did? What was that thing? Some America? That Jericho later said, um, it was a stupid catchphrase from Bad Creative. I fell out when he said that. I'm like, that actually got over, you know. But then when they put him with Alberto Del Rio, that's where they threw me all off at. I'm like, hold on. How are you putting him with Alberto Del Rio? Wasn't this man just trashing Mexico? So you thought that it was a good idea to put the guy that has been trashing Mexico this whole time and put him with a guy from Mexico, legitimately. Hmm. And people wonder why Alberto Del Rio ended up all fucked up. We the people. There you go. We the people. Yeah. We the people. I used to say that shit too. I thought that shit was hella cool. Because the crowd got into it. The crowd got into it. They loved it. You know what I'm saying? Even and if you remember when when Jake Hager debuted on the first episode of Dynamite, when he popped up, you hear the whole arena. We the people. We the people. We the people. They chanting. I'm like, ooh. And Jericho buried it. At the time period, Alberto El Patron was in a faction with the League of Nations. Yeah, that was after. Yeah, that was after he left Zeb. Because after that, Zeb Dutch had left, and then the whole League of Nations. So it was probably about within the same year because it didn't last long. I don't know if it was in the same year calendar period wise, but in a year time span, it was within that period. Because I think that thing only lasted like a couple months, maybe 4 months at best. And then the League of Nations happened and they just buried them. They literally buried them by the old guys at WrestleMania. They literally got buried by the old guys at WrestleMania. Like, really? But wasn't like they was really doing anything with them anyways. 2015 was so confused. Confusing, very, very. Because there was periods of 15 where it was like, oh, I can get with it. Oh, I like this. But then there was, but the booking, it was the booking. The booking was just had it like you like had the right matches, but the concepts that went with those matches did not make sense. One of the biggest things about 2015 and one of the worst booking decisions that people are still mad about to this day, me being one of them, was putting Triple H over Sting. Now we know Triple H politic that. You know what I'm saying? Sting had no say so. He had no say so. Because he wasn't a WWE guy. He had just got there just a few months ago. So he couldn't politic his way like, nah, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? And so which storyline wise made no sense. Storyline wise, it made no sense. You just had this guy debut at Survivor Series after Dolph Ziggler, which does not get talked about the way it should. But Dolph Ziggler put on a performance of a lifetime at that Survivor Series. When Sting debuted, boom, now you're running with it. And then Sting popping up at different times and giving Triple H a big old massive headache. To have Triple H beat him? I mean, if you want to do that, then why not have Sting have a couple of matches prior to that? Like that made no sense. You know, and considering Sting, you know what I'm saying? And the way that they was talking about Sting and, oh, Sting, this is, one of the funniest things I'll be cracking up about WWE is how they just act like nothing else existed, right? And I think it was JBL or somebody had made the statement of, "Oh, this is the most people Sting has ever wrestled WrestleMania and all this," and I'm just like, well, I mean, from the magnitude of WrestleMania being WrestleMania, hmm, but the levels that go with that, Sting wrestled in front of 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Sting has wrestled in front of 100,000 people many times. South Korea, uh, Japan, you know, um, when WWE couldn't even fill a high school gym, Sting was wrestling in front of 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now I know Starrcade ain't on the level of WrestleMania, but Starrcade was a big deal. That was the big deal. Eric Bischoff just didn't know how to book that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Starrcade was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? As far as WCW went. So, you know, and so for them to sit there and act like the stage was too big for Sting was absolutely ludicrous. See, Brock did not want to do the right thing and put it over Roman nor Seth. From what Ryback said, he was supposed to be in the Dolph Ziggler spot. I take what Ryback said. Ryback says a lot. Ryback says a lot. But I do know because wasn't Ziggler like added to the match? I think something happened. Ziggler was kind of added to the match. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch that whole build up again. The only thing Eric Bischoff cared about was Hulk Hogan. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. You know, but this is the thing. Cared about Hogan so much that to this day they have one of the worst pay-per-view endings to a world title match in history. Starrcade 97. And it look, the only thing they had to do was just get through that match. That's all they the rest of the show was good. I can go back and watch Starrcade 97 1,000 times over and end it right before the main event. Because that was the sloppiest, but that was WCW. You know, that was WCW. You know, it's like the rest of the card was a banger, and then you get to the main event, it's just like, you know, it was even like with their main event Nitro matches. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. All you get is 5 minutes. That's not even including the entrances. No, as a matter of fact, no, that is including the entrances. Yeah, the entrances, 5 minutes, along with the match, 2 minutes. Well, 3 to 2 minutes. Or 2 to 3 minutes. Shit. You know what? Don't forget about that triple threat match too. Because it was Seth, it was Seth, Lesnar, and Cena at the Royal Rumble. Because you remember that was the spot where Seth had did the top rope splash onto Lesnar on the table, and legitimately broke one of Lesnar's ribs. But that WrestleMania though, I'm kind of glad it went that way though. I'm kind of glad it went that way because it was like, oh snap, you wasn't expecting that. Because I was expecting the way Lesnar was just beating up Roman, just like Roman was just getting ragged that whole match. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that they had some color in that match too. But Roman was just getting dog walked. Um, but then it was something like Roman is smiling. He's smiling. Oh, this is different. This is oh snap. So I'm thinking that he's going over, and then when they had the spot where they both had collided and they both were laid out, I'm like, okay, the comeback's going to happen. And then all of a sudden you heard Seth's music hit. It's like, oh no. And then they made it a triple. I was like, literally how I have my face. Like, are you sick? Did they just at WrestleMania? Oh, because I was always wondering if they was ever going to have a cash in at WrestleMania. I used to think that when they had the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, I think when CM Punk had won it the second time, shit, I wish he would have cashed in. Shit, because both world title matches were not good at 25 at all. Yo, what's going on, cuz? I don't know if I asked you this before, but in your opinion, telling the truth about Bash at the Beach to the oh well, that right there, um, I don't blame Russo in that situation. I don't blame Russo because why would I want to trust Hogan? Hogan hasn't given me any reason to trust him. Hogan's using his creative control. I need to get, you know what I'm saying? Mm, you know. Um, but then at the same time, if I'm Bischoff and Hogan, why would I want to trust anything from Russo? Because keep in mind, and this doesn't get talked about a lot. Now the story goes, Brett and Sean and Vince, they all went over the match, right? Why does Vince Russo's name never get mentioned? If Vince Russo, keep in mind, this is late 97. So Vince is writing by this time. He's writing the pay-per-views. He's writing the show. Why is his name never being brought up in this? Because he was on the team at that time. So when you have another situation like this, if I'm Bischoff and Hogan, why would I want to trust Russo when I know that he was there in the WWF when the whole thing went down with Brett? I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna come. Like I just looked at the time. I was like, let me go ahead and you know what I'm saying, because I need to get my hours up and all that. You know, that's the only I just gotta get my hours up. I get my hours up, I can start getting my super chats and everything. Cause I got enough subs to start getting my super chats and all that other stuff. I just got to get my wash hours up and all that. So I didn't know Seth broke Brock's ribs at the wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right when he did that move, I think it was the frog splash he did when Lesnar was on the table and he, wow. As a matter of fact, you go back and watch it, you'll see Lesnar grab his rib and like he's hurt, hurt. Who would have CM Punk cash out 25? See, that was in 2009. That was 2 years prior. You know what? They had a whole storyline built in and they missed it. I would have had them cashed in on Triple H. I would have had them cashed in on Triple H. But the only problem with that is they had a whole storyline going already. So that would have kind of messed up the whole story. Well, no, you could have carried on because you didn't need to have the title. You know what I'm saying? Because what ended up happening anyways was, oh, wait, hold on. And then, wait, hold on. Cash in on Triple H, right? Triple H and the McMahons could carry on that storyline with Legacy, right? Now, CM Punk cashed in on Triple H. 2 years later, Triple H and CM Punk had that whole situation going on. You could have went back to that. Once Triple H and the McMahons got done with the story with Legacy, you have Randy Orton beat CM Punk, right? Or if you don't do that, you just, let's not even go with who goes over. You start up a program with them, right? Because remember, a year prior, Randy Orton had punted CM Punk in the head that cost him having to give up the World Heavyweight title. Because remember, they never ran that storyline back until a couple years later. Because all that 2011 would have, you know. Yo, what's going on, Muhammad? I see you in here. Let's see, Jim Cornette said Vince Russo knew what was going on, but Vince Russo and Jim Cornette words was lying. Hey, I'm with Cornette on that one. I'm with Cornette because you're literally the head writer. You're the head writer. How are you not in the room? How are you not knowing what's going on? Now, what happened after all that? That's debatable. But you can't tell me that he wasn't in the room. That's all I'm saying. I'm doing good, doing good. Just talking some wrestling. Jim Cornette was the first one out the door after the market. Yep. He sure was. Well, He didn't quite leave because he was still there doing he still did a little bit of commentary. He still did because he did some commentary on Raw to fill in for JR, which was crazy hearing them, because I think he still has some time left on his contract. So, but I think it was like January of '98 was his last month there. And then we didn't see Jim Cornette for a little minute. Then matter of fact, when was the next time I seen Jim Cornette? I think the next time I seen Jim Cornette was when he was in TNA. Yeah, it was when he was in TNA. See, from what Brett said, he wanted to drop the title to either Ken Shamrock or Stone Cold. Yeah. Or to the other thing that I heard was he wanted to since they were in Canada, he would come out the next night or whatever and do whatever, and but yo, what's going on, Chaos? That's good. Oh yeah. Oh I know that Christmas party was going down. Christmas parties have a tendency to be just a tad bit more wilder than other parties throughout the year. No matter the setting. No matter the setting. I've been to a couple. Been to a couple and woke up the next day and wish somebody would just take a shotgun and just let me feel it so I ain't gotta feel this. But yeah. So what was on? Oh yeah. That whole time period, that was a crazy time. That was a crazy. Yo, coffee. What's going on? Hey, didn't I just see you go live? I could have sworn I just got a notification you just went live. But yeah, that 90 the fall of '97 in WWE was absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Because you had I forgot I had the earpiece in my ear. I forgot all about that. But whatchamacallit? Oh yeah. So you had the formation of DX, right? The early days of DX. What else you had going on? Of course, you had the whole Stone Cold Owen Hart situation going on. Then you had the tag team division. Tag team division was pretty good. The early days of the New Age Outlaws when they got together. Then of course you had Ken Shamrock. You still had the Nation. You had the Rock starting, to come along. He had just turned heel. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. Late as fuck on 165 and a few other things. Oh yeah, I know it was hella food. Yeah, I'm already knowing. Especially what you told me about y'all past work parties that you guys have had. So I'm already knowing. So have you been watching? I haven't, to be honest. I haven't. NOD, enough is enough. It's time for man. Oh yeah, that was when Owen Hart had joined the nation the next year. You know, because he was he went from the Black Heart to the Nugget. The Black Heart to the Nugget. Like, how you a Nugget? That's cool. Like, don't call me no damn Nugget. You know what I'm saying? I'm Owen Hart, motherfucker. Shoot. You know, but that was basically Vince. You know, Vince punished Owen. After Brett left, Vince literally put Owen through the ringer. And then he made him put that damn blue blazer thing back on. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what the hell are we doing? Why is this dude being a blue blazer literally 10 years after he was the blue blazer? Like, you know, and I don't know why I never picked up on it a lot sooner, because I ended up hearing it like I think it was on one of them like old school wrestling syndicated radio shows. And then so when I go back and I watch like some of his old matches, I'll be like, how the hell I did not catch that? Like when he would do the interviews, all I had to do is just listen to the voice. And it's not like he had like a different move set. You know, he didn't really change his move set up until, you know, because he left, he went to WCW for a short time, and then he ended up going back to the WWF after that. Then that's when, you know, he was a totally different person after that. Yo, what's going on, Mario? I am. Fun fact, they were telling us say he was supposed to take the Nexus from Waybearer, that Punk. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. He wasn't an established star. He wasn't an established star to be able to take over the lead role of the guy that is getting pushed to becoming a legitimate star. So, you know, although I would say I'm surprised it was Punk, because I didn't really see Punk in that, like with them. You know what I'm saying? But it ended up working for the time it did. Yeah, I almost didn't go, but I'm glad. Yeah, you know, gotta get out, you know, get out and live. Have a good time, you know, because we ain't getting any younger. You know, because it's going to come a time where you ain't going to be able to even go outside. You're going to be sitting there, sitting on the couch, probably watching your favorite program or streaming your favorite movie, talking to your grandbabies. Oh, which I am looking forward to. Like, you know, yeah. I was for the way they were using gimmicks. Oh yeah, I fucked up. Oh, okay, yeah. Yo, what's going on, Chaz? The hell is a football move the NFL doesn't seem to know is possession 2 feet So you can toe tap on the sideline. That's possession, but you need 3 feet. And when they say one butt cheek, one butt cheek equals 2 feet, or elbow, one elbow equals 2 feet. I don't. I'm look. Look. I told myself last. What was that? Last week? It was either last week or it was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what game I was watching. It might have been my game. It might have been somebody else's game. All I know, in my head, I'm saying to myself, am I going to keep on doing this to myself? Or am I just going to just not watch anymore? Because watching the NFL is about as confusing as confusing as trying to predict what's going to happen in the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Watching football, watching football, look, watching college and watching the NFL, I am literally getting a headache because I just want to watch football. That's it. Why do I complicate things? Like the kickoff thing. Like I'm cool with it because it's another league doing it. This is the NFL. Can we get back to the old kickoffs? Like they just standing there looking like y'all remember them army men, them little army men statues that you had to literally move around like that's exactly what they be looking like. And I was just like, this just looks bad. The optics of it looks horrible. We went from teenagers to grandparents. Man, I was look. I was just saying, time once once you get to a certain age, okay, it's like where you you lived, right? You lived all these years, but exactly where did it go? Because it don't feel like it's been that long. But when you think about it, it's been that long. Like how we just get from the 90s all the way to 2025. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know. But if you could make it this far and beyond, man, hey, you know, I'm, you know, I'm hoping I can continue on and and get to that next stage of life, you know, because I don't talk about it, but you know, I done lost a lot of people, in the last 2 years, you know, and they've all been young. They've all been young, either in their 50s or in their 40s. And it's just be like, what? Like this crazy. It makes absolutely no fucking sense at all. Another Tonga fact, it was supposed to be Otanga and Ryback, aka Skip. Was a tag team. Also, David Otunga and Ryback was supposed to win the. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, because that's what I thought they was gonna do. like the NFL being around for 100 years and they still can't make up their mind on what possession is. Like they are exceptions to the rules with certain plays, but not for others. This is rocket science, but the NFL makes it out to be. Oh, this isn't right. Call it trigonometry. Had it not been for Ryback getting injured. Yep. Man, I am too. I am too. You know, I'm thankful every day I'm here. 'Cause like I said, last 2 years, and then I just keep hearing about like what other people are going through. You know what I'm saying? Like they going through the same thing. Like one of my good friends, she just lost her mom just a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. I wasn't happy with that Cena loss. Not not that he lost, but the way he lost, he just gets out in a sleeper and gently taps out. And what? And that was like what the hell at the end? What? That see, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I didn't care to watch it. Still don't care. But if that's the way that he went out, oh, thank you, RB. Appreciate that. Ryback getting injured and Nexus kicking there. Really question Nexus momentum, especially after oh my God. They got buried. If that was my last match, I'm going out through a table with explosives. Thank you. Thank you. Make it exciting. This is the last time you can see. That's what makes things last match so much. Look, you see how WWE is doing these retirement matches, right? Look at the way AEW is doing their retirement matches. Christopher Daniels, even though he's not like a big name, that story he had with Hangman and the way he went out in a bloody mess, how he did not give up, like he had to literally take him out for him to beat him. That's what I'm talking about. The way Sting went out, like that was a hardcore brutal stick. Look, I respect Sting so much because that man was 60. That man's 60 years old, and he jumping off of balconies through tables. Okay, the man going through glass. Okay, the man is not caring. But you see the way WWE does it. Cena trolled his way. Yeah. Yeah, he just gets out in sleeper and WWE trolls their retirement matches. They really do. So is Gunther supposed to be the retirement specialist now for his Goldberg? I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. Because it kind of diminishes what Randy Orton built up being a legend killer. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see Gunther wrestling every guy that has a retirement. I don't want to see Gunther wrestling Jericho. I don't want to see Gunther wrestling a Lesnar. I don't want to see Gunther wrestling AJ. And anybody else that's retiring in WWE. I don't want to see Gunther against them. And then just the way that they had Cena going in his last match, I mean, in his last year, that's some of the worst booking I've ever seen. You know, him becoming a heel. When I think back to that and him becoming a heel, I thought it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. It should have never happened. But like I said, that was a makeup call for WrestleMania 28. That was the makeup call. Because Cena was supposed to turn heel after that loss. And he did it. The next night, Lesnar had returned and, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Like, so that was a makeup call. Like, this is last year. Ain't enough time to do all that. You try to mash everything all in one time. That is not how you do a retirement year. I would have loved to see it be Jericho versus Cena. The last match it could have been. So if Vince was around still, that match probably would have happened, to be honest with you. If Vince was still around, that match probably would have happened. I bet you AJ Styles might bury on the wheel. Man, oh my gosh. Man, don't even let me think about that. Goldberg probably mad because he wanted to troll us. What's going on, Daniel? Man, I don't know. You know. All I know is I just did not care. I still don't care. I'll talk about it because it's what's going on right now, but I don't care. I stopped caring about Cena a long time ago. Long time ago. It's the same old routine. Same old routine. Same old routine. Same old routine. You burying guys that got moments like you buried Bray Wyatt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear all these tributes and happies. You literally buried the man. The man never recovered from that loss. He never recovered from that loss. You know why he never recovered from that loss? Because even when he became WWE champion, they killed that. So, and in Vince's WWE, you only get one time. You only get one time. You know. Yeah, that's not to say that you'll never become champion, but you only get one time. Once that one time passes, it's over with. You're only going to get to a certain standard. Even as the top champion, you're only going to get to a certain level. I mean, a certain level. That's it. You know, and that's only going to last until they decide, well, do we want to put the belt on him or, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if Cena turned heel at Survivor Series 2011 and betrayed The Rock. Ooh. See, that would have been a good time to turn the heel. That would, and they was in New York too, so the crowd would have been hot. The crowd would have been hot. Like, whoa, see that like that. Whew. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Cena say he wanted 220 dates his last year, but yeah, I seen that. I was like, it's the man last year. Give him what he want. Like, y'all ain't do. Look, you're not doing anything else with all the other talent. You're not doing anything else with them. So just give Cena the dates. And it doesn't even matter if he don't have to wrestle all them dates. He just has to do something on them dates. Have him do some house shows. Like, I don't get it. Another tongue fact, he said it was Husky Harris who poked John Cena in the eye, and Cena had Husky go back to, yeah. Cena politicked the hell out the Nexus. They were supposed to be so much greater. And yeah, they got politicked out. Fucked up. But hey, y'all, I'm about to go ahead and end this. Got Frontline Black News going on right now. Y'all want to tap on over there. And I don't know who else is live, but thank y'all for coming through, come chilling with me. And I will catch y'all next time. So y'all have a good night. Be safe out there. Keep your head on the swivel, and enjoy some football tomorrow, because I know I will. Peace.